So, Coach, get a chance to do a spring showcase. I guess, how would you evaluate how the day went, and did it match your expectations?
Yeah, I think for a rep count, it was right on. We were a little at, I think, 63 snaps, 31 for the first group and 32 for the second group. So, yeah, we didn't leave with any serious injuries, and we got quality work and allowing the guys to kind of get out here and play in front of fans. I think it matters because I think they get a opportunity to play with a little heightened sense of awareness and come out here and execute. But there's some things that got sloppy. We'll improve. It is the spring, but we got to take strides going into the summer.
Offense has the edge in terms of the score, but just what really stood out about your offense and about your defense, positives and negatives for both sides?
Yeah, I felt like certain guys stood out maybe more than collective unit play. But, yeah, I felt like we were able with the ones to kind of move the ball a little bit, and we didn't turn the ball over. We got to clean up some of the things at O-line with the depth of the O-line. And then overall, just I felt like defensively we tackled decently today. There's some plays there on 3rd and long that you can't give up. So we'll get better and we'll keep moving forward.
Coach, who were some of those guys that you were talking about that you saw some good flashes from, whether it be on the offensive or defensive side?
Yeah, I would say, some of them running backs do a good job. O-line wise, that first group is pretty solid, and we need to continue to build around what they've done for us thus far this spring. There's some good leaders in that group, and on the back end of the defense with the ones, I think there's some real promise there, especially at the safety position.
Spring camp as a whole, did you accomplish what you were hoping to, and how important now are the next few weeks, couple months until fall?
Yeah, I think we did, because the biggest thing about spring, especially with the new staff, is seeing the evaluation of a whole team, right? And the group has come together as far as the connection to one another and the connection to the coaching staff and us back to them. So we got a long ways to go, like I said, but we're going to move forward this summer healthy, at least from leaving this game healthy.
What did you kind of tell the guys before today that was kind of the main goal to get out of this practice and scrimmage, and do you think you kind of got there? Yeah,
just to play clean. There's a couple penalties in there. I think they probably would have called more in real-life situations for some of the taunting and stuff towards the sidelines. But other than that, it was to try to come out here, play clean, execute, stay on blocks, make tackles, and try to come together collectively offensively and collectively defensively. I thought for the most part, we need to be able to do that. We need to be able to hold people to 14 points throughout a season, and so I think the stress maybe is more on a defense in this situation than it is the offense. And offensively, we got to continue to grow mentally so we don't have, bonehead mistakes and turn the ball over or give up bad plays like a sack or false starts in certain situations that are critical. So it's good evaluation film, but it's only the spring, and we're going to take steps moving forward.
How would you assess where Zevi's at right now and his control of this offense?
I think Zevi has a great grasp of the team, which is maybe the most critical part of playing quarterback, is that the guys will rally around him. And him and I think Potter's taking huge jumps. I've been impressed with Potter. The job isn't just straight up Zevi's. That's part of this. There's going to be competition, and there's going to be more competition coming in this summer. So I'm excited about where they're at and what they've learned thus far. But, we're in the infant stages as an offense and a defense, and we're just looking to take strides moving forward.
You mentioned just a minute ago that, there were some individuals who impressed you or stood out to you. Who's kind of at the top of that list when you look at the scrimmage just from the naked eye?
I got to watch the film to see who really stood out. But as far as this whole spring, I would say everybody that I've mentioned thus far, Brock Dew and Hilborn and Tripp. I think Noah Dunham has flashed. I think he's a good football player. Skill-wise, Josh Meredith and Leon Neal. If you were to ask me one player, I would say Leon Neal has come out and made plays pretty consistently every day through spring ball. And it's a guy that maybe hadn't had an opportunity to come onto the field and have meaningful reps. But he's made the most of every moment thus far this spring. So I'm excited for him. And defensively, Tucker Large, Matt Durant's. Excited to get Cale Reeder back come this summer because he'll be a big plus to us on the back end. And Jamori Colson has shown flashes that he could be really special at corner. So I'm excited about certain groups. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. There's got to be competition all the way through camp, and we'll take strides this summer.
Curious about the BDs with Ben and Caden. Where do you see them kind of fitting in on the defensive line right now?
Yeah, with Caden coming in as a transfer, he's still learning, the defense, but he's shown, promise that he can be in the rotation. And then Ben's a young buck still learning. So, but yeah, he's come a long ways, and he's gained weight and gotten stronger, and has gotten in there and made the most of his reps while he's in there. So excited for those guys.
Coach, apologize if this was already asked, but Hudson Cedarland, basically a couple weeks of practice now at tight end. What have you seen from Hudson in terms of him getting, more comfortable with the position change?
Yeah, I think he's worked extremely hard. If anything, you go in and work out late at night, and he's in the weight room going through play calls on his own with some of the GAs and trying to line himself. And there's a lot to our tight end group, just the amount of motions and shifts and nuances with the blocking schemes that they have to know, and then also being a adequate pass catcher. And he's taken huge strides. I'm proud of him because, all of you guys have read the story, or somebody in here wrote it, but he was on his way out and he got a second chance at this, and it's a pretty cool story, and he's made the most of it thus far. You guys cold?
What'd you say?
Are you guys cold? I'm over here wet and shaking. Go ahead. Next question.
Obviously you're talking about Hudson, and he obviously came from that linebacker spot, and I think we maybe saw some of the explosiveness and the depth and what you guys are going to be able to do at that position. Just where have you seen them grow to where it feels like it's really 7, 8, 9 deep potentially with some of the bodies you have right now?
Yeah, we got a long ways to go. I don't know if it's that deep. We're going to continue to progress in the summer. We got young bucks coming in at the position as well, and I think there's some real talent there, and we're going to try to push the talent ahead of experience. And right now with this offense, there's not a whole lot of experience at the position in the amount of stuff that we do with them. So, come summer, we'll start the progression of teaching all over again and see who the best players are come this fall, because it's not about where we leave spring as much as it is the stride that we need to be in sequence moving through the fall.
Warren Smith and then Andre Dahl, any update on those guys?
I don't got an update. I'm pretty, Warren Smith is probably going to be in the transfer portal, and Dahl still working through some injury stuff. You guys good? Thanks, guys.
Matt Durant, you mentioned Matt, and obviously standing out. There was kind of a moment on the sideline. Does that, where there might be some chippiness, but with that moment and just all the tackles and plays that he made, just kind of what does that show about how much of a competitor and maybe a leader, and just maybe the competitive nature of camps like this?
Well, I've been with Matt since he's been a freshman. I was part of his recruitment, so he's a competitive kid, and we brought him here for a reason, and he's going to have the opportunity to showcase his skills next fall. But I'm excited for him. Tuck, Kale Reeder, Trey Ridley, Kale Patu showed up today. This is, I thought Kale had a good day today too. So we got to grow collectively as a defense to make sure that, the plays in the end zone where our guys cut wide open, like that's just a mental bust. That's not necessarily offensive execution. That's a defensive mishap. So the more we can eliminate bad mistakes like that, the better off we'll be next fall.